Hey Phil and all of the Know Your Gear subscribers. My name is Melissa and I am going to be sharpening my own axe today with the help of Phil. I first met Phil last year, probably about 6 months ago at the PRS experience. I live in Maryland, about 20 minutes from the PRS factory. And as you know, Phil was out there and I went there with a friend of mine who was a big fan of Phil's channel, and we spotted him and had a little conversation, talked to him, and I've been a huge fan of the channel ever since. Hey Phil and all of the Know Your Gear subscribers. My name is Melissa and I am going to be sharpening my own axe today with the help of Phil. I first met Phil last year, probably about 6 months ago at the PRS experience. I live in Maryland, about 20 minutes from the PRS factory. And as you know, Phil was out there, and I went there with a friend of mine who was a big fan of Phil's channel, and we spotted him and had a little conversation, talked to him, and I've been a huge fan of the channel ever since. I'm learning quite a bit. I'm what you would consider a beginner, I guess. I bought this guitar about almost 3 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, used from Guitar Center. As you can see, it is a lefty Squire. It is a 2009. I think I paid about $100 for it. When I bought it, of course, the salesman at Guitar Center took it out of the box and he said, "Oh, it looks like you got a good one," and then sent me on my way. Never offered to set it up, didn't really inspect it very much. You know, I figured, oh, it's a used guitar. It's only $100, yeah, and sent me on my way. So, kind of makes me sad to think that they did that. But anyhow, of course, I've learned a lot from watching Phil's channel, and have been able to do some minor things to the guitar myself. But today, we're gonna get into some like more advanced, I guess, things to do to the guitar that he thought it might be interesting to see a beginner like me try to do it myself. And I know that there's probably a lot of beginner gear gals and guys out there that might find this helpful and maybe encouraging to let you know, hey, you can do it yourself, and you know, you can always learn new things. So we've got a list of things to do here today, which include installing a new output jack, string trees, new tuning keys, new bridge saddles, new pickups, a nut. I have never soldered before. Disclaimer right there, never soldered. So it's kind of scary for me. I'm afraid I'm gonna, like, you know, burn myself or ruin my guitar. But Phil has assured me that I'm not gonna do those things and I should be able to do it myself, but I'm still a little nervous about that. So, yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Phil's convinced that I can do all of these things in one day. Like, he gave me an estimated time for each, you know, thing that I'm gonna do. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes for this and that. I don't know if I believe that. I think it's probably gonna take longer than that, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing on my list to replace is going to be the output jack. Now, Phil told me this should only take about 10 minutes. I don't know if that's right or not. You can see I've got all my equipment lined up, just like you instructed me to do. We've got the soldering station set up for the left-handed people, because I'm left-handed. And apparently, after all the sales of your left-handed shirts this month, there's quite a few subscribers who can identify with me, and they play left-handed guitars too. And probably a lot of Squires too. I don't know about you, but whenever I go into the Guitar Center or some other store, seems like there's only ever 1 or 2 lefties on display, and the Squire is always one of them. And there's a lot of used ones, you know, like on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, all that kind of stuff too. So I'm sure that this is going to appeal to a lot of people, hopefully help a lot of people out. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is replace the output jack. I have my soldering station set to 330 degrees Celsius, it looks like. And we are going to go ahead and remove this. Probably the jack that it came with, you know, compared to the new one. It has a lot less going on. Looks cheaper. We're gonna get ready to take the old one off. So I am using a 1/2 inch socket to try to get this undone. I have to cover this up because I don't want to get any solder on my guitar. My little freebie microfiber cloth from Harbor Freight there, and we are going to tin the iron next. So let me see if I can scoot this over here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully I'm doing this right. I've unrolled some of this. I have my iron set to, it's like 370-ish degrees Celsius. Okay. I don't know if that's enough to put on there. I have no idea. We're just trying. Phil told me I should wipe it off and do this twice. I guess that's enough. I don't know. But we're gonna find out. So I don't know if that looks good. I guess it looks good. It's nice and shiny. All right, we're gonna put that back. I didn't burn myself, which is good. And now we can try to prep the new jack. Just give me 1 minute, and I'm gonna set up my helping hands so that I can get this thing ready. All right, guys, now for the fun stuff. We are gonna try to add some solder to the new output jack, which I have set up in my helping hands. Phil told me to heat the element and then feed the solder through. So let's see. Okay. So hopefully this is right. So we're gonna heat the outside. I don't know how long this takes to heat up. It went through the hole, but I don't know if the hole is covered. Kind of looks like it is. I don't know. Okay, so it is covered. I was able to fill the hole with the solder. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so then I'm going to do the other one. That doesn't seem to be working. Maybe I don't have it angled right. I don't know. This just seems to be running down the side. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now it's covered. It's just kind of like dripping down the side of the element there, but I think I've got it all covered now. I guess it's good. Try not to get my hair in the way. I don't want to light my hair on fire. I guess that's good. Okay, so let's, now, I don't know, I guess it's okay that there's a bunch of gunk on the end of the gun. I don't know if I should wipe that off. I feel like I should wipe it off because it looks kind of bad, but we'll go ahead and wipe it. Just, I guess that's better. Okay, we'll put that back and take a look, take this off the helping hands and see what we got. Okay guys, so here's my first attempt at adding solder to this jack. By the way, this thing stays hot for quite a while even after you remove the heating element, so be careful when you're taking it off the helping hands. Not hot enough to really burn you, but just, you know, caution. Okay, so here is the first solder that I added, and it looks pretty good, I guess. I don't know, it's shiny, it filled the hole. I guess it's good. The second one, I just don't know. This is the one where it's kind of like dripping down a little bit. You can see it's like running down the side rather than just staying filled in the hole. It almost looks like there's a little spot on the hole where it didn't fill all the way. I'm not too sure about that, but if you look at it from the other side, it looks like it's filled in. So I don't know if that's... Sorry, this keeps trying to autofocus on this. But you can see from the other side it looks filled in. So hopefully that's okay. I guess it looks good. We'll see how that works out. Now to remove the solder from the old jack. Two wires sticking out of the guitar that, I don't know if you can see, but they are covered in old solder and they're kind of fanned out, and we're going to go ahead and cut those off and try to expose some new wire so it's a little bit easier to attach it to the new jack. So get rid of that. And this is much neater and cleaner looking than when I first took it off of the old jack. Okay, so hopefully that's enough. And we are ready to go ahead and set up our new jack and attach it. Alright guys, on to some more scary soldering stuff. I have my new jack set up in my helping hands. I have it turned so that I know where the hot and the ground go. Now we just have to heat it up and try to feed this through so that there's a good connection. At least I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so that went through, but I don't know that there's enough solder on there. I can still see the hole. So I don't know if that's going to be a good connection, but I'm going to heat it up and add a little bit more. Okay, so we got the first one through. Just going to leave that alone for now. I don't know if there's enough solder on it or if it's a good connection. We're going to have to ask Phil about that. We're going to try to go for the second one now. So that went through. But again, I can see the hole, like there's not a lot of solder on there. When I took the old one off, it had like gobs of solder on the wire and on the actual jack. So maybe I'm not putting enough on there. I'm not sure. We'll see if it's connected or if I need to add more solder. Alright guys, so I waited a minute for that to cool down and I pulled on it a little bit just to see if it was secure, and it was not. So, well, the ground wire was okay, hot wire was not. It definitely did not put enough solder on, I guess, when I first added it. So I'm gonna have to go back and add more. Do the same thing as before, heat it up and add some more solder to it. So hopefully this doesn't make a huge mess. I feel like I'm putting a lot on here. There we go. Maybe I just need to do that. Maybe I just need to like smooth it out. Clean off the iron here. It's getting kind of dirty looking. Okay, so that looks a little better than what it did before. I may go back and redo the other one too. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's enough solder on the other one. But we'll give that a second and then we'll try to go feed the wire back through it again. Alright guys, let's give this another try and see what we can do here. And it's through the hole now. To give it a second. Let it, I guess, cool off. And then we're gonna give it the test and see if it's a secure connection. Alright guys, here's a close-up of the final product. Not 100% sure if this is right. I feel like you can see quite a bit of, let's see if I can get that to focus, quite a bit of the wire still exposed. Even though it is secure, I've tried to pull on it, make sure it's not coming apart. But there you go. Guess that this is nice and secure. And I'm gonna put it back together now. Okay, now we're gonna plug it in, fingers crossed, and see if it works. Okay guys, moment of truth. We're gonna see if we have a good connection. Already I can tell that that is much more snug fit than the old jack, for sure. Okay, I've got my little micro cube set up over here. Power that on. And it works. All right, success. It works, it works, it works. I'm excited. All right, let's move on to the next step, which I believe is going to be the string trees.